The massive alien space station glowed like a jewel against the black emptiness. Commander Leah Garcia stood frozen at the main window of the human ship horizon, her breath caught in her throat. The station twisted in impossible angles, each arm shimmering with lights from 1,000 different worlds. "First time seeing something that wasn't built by human hands?" asked Science Officer Alan Wright as he joined her. His normally steady voice held a hint of wonder. Leah nodded slowly. "After all our years looking up at the stars, we're finally here." Just 3 years ago, humans had discovered the secret to faster-than-light travel. The discovery had shocked the galaxy. Most species took thousands of years to develop such technology. Humans had done it in less than 300 years after their first powered flight. "They're watching us approach," Alan said, pointing to movement along the station's docking arms, probably wondering what kind of barbarians we are. Leah smiled tightly. Let them wonder. The aliens had found Earth 6 months ago. Their messages had been polite but talked down to humans like they were children. This meeting was humanity's chance to prove they belonged among the stars. "Incoming message from the station," announced the communications officer. "They're sending docking instructions." The horizon shuddered as invisible beams locked onto the ship, guiding it into a massive docking bay. Captain Doug Porter's deep voice came over the speakers. "First contact team report to the shuttle bay in 30 minutes. Senior staff to the conference room now." The conference room buzzed with tension when Leah arrived. Maps and alien faces filled the screens on the walls. Ambassador Frank Kelly paced at the head of the table, his gray hair disheveled from running his hands through it. "These beings have been spacefaring for over 10,000 years," Kelly was saying. "Their technology makes ours look like stone tools, but they have a weakness." He stopped pacing. "They underestimate us. They think we're weak newcomers begging for scraps from their table." Captain Porter, a barrel-chested man with a booming laugh, snorted. "They're in for a surprise." Dr. Nicole Reyes, the team's expert on alien biology, tapped her tablet. 3 strange creatures appeared as holograms above the table. "These are the main species we'll meet," she explained. "The Validians are the tall insect-like ones with the shiny shells. They're the strategists. The Morcani are the short blue ones with all the eye stalks. They're traders and diplomats. The Zentari are the wispy ones who look like fog in a bottle. They're the scientists." The images rotated slowly above the table. The Validians' razor-sharp arms and clicking mandibles made Leah's skin crawl. The Morcani's multiple eyes blinked independently of each other. The Zentari barely seemed solid, swirling inside their containment suits like living smoke. "What do they know about us?" asked Leah. Nicole shrugged. "Not much. They sent probes to Earth that took some readings. They classified our planet as a Class 4 world." "Class 4? Captain Porter frowned. "What does that mean?" "It means they think Earth is barely livable," Nicole explained. "They found our gravity too strong, our weather too extreme, and our bacteria too aggressive." Alan laughed. "They think Earth is harsh. We call it home." "And that's why they underestimate us," Ambassador Kelly said with a smile. "They think we're fragile creatures who struggled on a harsh world. They don't understand that Earth's challenges made us stronger." Leah considered this. "So they have no idea what humans are truly capable of?" "None at all," Kelly confirmed. "And for now, we'll keep it that way." An alarm chimed, signaling 15 minutes until docking. The team dispersed to prepare. Leah went to her quarters to change into her formal uniform. As she fastened the silver insignia to her collar, she thought about what lay ahead. Humans had dreamed of meeting aliens for centuries. Now it was happening, but not as equals. The aliens thought humans were primitive newcomers to be guided and controlled. They couldn't be more wrong. The shuttle bay was a flurry of activity when Leah arrived. 20 crew members had been selected for the first meeting. They stood in perfect formation, backs straight, faces composed. Ambassador Kelly checked everyone's appearance one last time. "Remember," he said quietly, "we're representing all of humanity today. Be respectful but proud. We aren't begging to join their club, we're announcing our arrival." The massive shuttle bay doors opened, revealing the alien docking area beyond. Creatures of all shapes and sizes moved about. some floating, others crawling, or walking on too many legs. Leah forced herself not to stare. At the front of the alien delegation stood a towering Validian, its green exoskeleton catching the light as it moved. "I can't believe this is happening," Alan whispered beside her. "Believe it," Leah replied. "This is just the beginning." Ambassador Kelly led the human delegation forward. The aliens waited, their strange eyes tracking every human movement. The HFY Validian stepped forward, its mandibles clicking rapidly. The sound echoed in the cavernous docking bay. "Welcome, children of Earth." The translator in Leah's ear converted the clicks into English. "I am High Counselor Vazrik. The Galactic Council welcomes you to civilization." Leah saw Ambassador Kelly start to extend his hand, then catch himself. The ambassador smoothly changed the gesture into a respectful bow. "On behalf of humanity, we thank you for your welcome," Kelly replied. "We look forward to learning from your wisdom while sharing our own contributions." The Validian's head tilted to one side. Its compound eyes reflected the light in rainbow patterns. "Indeed, we are always interested in primitive perspectives. They can be refreshingly simple." Leah felt her face flush with anger. She wasn't the only one. Captain Porter's jaw clenched visibly. Ambassador Kelly's smile tightened, but his voice remained calm. "Simple solutions often prove most effective, High Counselor." The alien delegation led them through enormous hallways filled with strange architecture. Everywhere they went, aliens stopped to stare at the humans. Some pointed, others whispered to companions. Leah noticed how the other species moved aside, keeping their distance as if humans might be carrying diseases. "They're afraid of us," Alan noted quietly. "No," Leah corrected him. "They're not afraid. They're amused. They see us as primitive curiosities." Alan watched as a group of floating crystal beings drifted past, their bodies chiming softly. "They have no idea what's coming, do they?" Leah smiled grimly. "Not a clue. The humans hadn't come to beg for acceptance. They hadn't traveled across the stars to be patted on the head like good little primitives. Earth had survived ice ages, asteroids, plagues, and its own self-destructive tendencies. Its people had clawed their way from caves to the stars through sheer determination and grit. Soon, the galaxy would learn what it meant to face a species forged in Earth's crucible. They just didn't know it yet. 3 days passed on the alien station. The humans learned quickly that the Galactic Council had no plans to treat them as equals. Every meeting ended the same way, with the aliens patting them on the head and offering scraps instead of real partnership. "This is getting us nowhere," Ambassador Kelly said, throwing his tablet onto the table in their private meeting room. His face was red with anger. "They keep calling us promising youngsters while offering us outdated technology in exchange for access to Earth." Leah looked over the latest proposal. "They want samples of all Earth plants and animals. They want to study our biology, but they're offering us technology they gave to other species centuries ago." "They think we're stupid," Captain Porter growled. He was a large man who filled the room with his presence. "They think we'll be grateful for whatever they give us." Alan Wright examined a strange fruit he had picked up at the alien market. "Did you notice how shocked that Zentari scientist was yesterday when I helped move those containers? He kept saying I should wait for a load lifter because the gravity here is adjusted for human comfort." "What did he mean?" Leah asked. "The station's gravity is set at about 70% of Earth's normal gravity," Nicole explained. "They think they're doing us a favor, making it easier for our fragile bodies to move around." Leah laughed. "So that's why everything feels so light here. Maybe it's time to show them what humans can really do," Porter suggested, a slow smile spreading across his face. Their chance came that very evening. The humans were invited to a formal dinner with representatives from 12 alien species. As they ate strange foods and made careful conversation, alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. "Security breach in Science Sector 5, announced, a voice in multiple languages. "All non-essential personnel evacuate immediately." The aliens around them jumped up in panic. The Validian security chief clicked his mandibles rapidly, receiving reports through some kind of communication device. "What's happening?" Ambassador Kelly asked. The Validian's compound eyes swiveled toward him. "A containment failure in the xenobiology lab. A predator specimen has escaped. Nothing for your team to worry about, Ambassador. Please remain here where it's safe." But Captain Porter was already standing. "Perhaps we can help?" The Validian made a sound that the translator interpreted as laughter. "Most appreciated, Captain, but this creature is from a Class 1 Deathworld. Even our security teams must use special equipment to handle it." Leah exchanged glances with Alan. Deathworld. There was that term again. "We insist," Leah said, stepping forward. "At least let us assess the situation." The Validian hesitated, then finally agreed to escort them to the security control room overlooking the lab. Through the large viewing window, Leah could see the escaped creature. It was like nothing she had ever seen. A six-limbed reptile with blade-like spines along its back. It moved with terrifying speed, smashing equipment and testing the barriers of its containment area. The specialized containment team is 3 hours away, explained a nervous Morcani technician, his eye stalks twitching. The creature's secretions will eat through the secondary barriers before then. Leah studied the creature's movements. It follows a pattern. It's testing for weaknesses. "You are observant, human," the Validian security chief said, sounding surprised. "This is why it's so dangerous. It has intelligence as well as strength." "What would happen if it escapes into the station?" Alan asked. The Morcani's multiple eyes all blinked at once. "Deaths. Many deaths." Leah looked at Alan. They had both served in Earth's military before joining the diplomatic mission. They had trained for dangerous situations. "We can contain it," Leah said firmly. The room went quiet. The alien stared at her as if she had suggested flying by flapping her arms. "Impossible," the Validian stated. "This is a Class 1 predator from a high-gravity world. It has killed trained handlers from multiple species." Captain Porter stepped forward. "With respect, we come from what you might consider a high-gravity world ourselves." Before the aliens could object further, Leah and Alan volunteered to enter the lab. The aliens reluctantly provided them with protective gear, though the items were designed for Morcani physiology and fit poorly. "This is suicide," the Validian security chief warned as they prepared to enter. "We'll see," Leah replied. As the door to the lab hissed open, Leah felt a rush of adrenaline. The creature instantly sensed them, turning its six-eyed head toward the new threat. Its mouth opened to reveal rows of needle-like teeth. "Remember the plan," Alan whispered. "I'll distract it, you get behind it." The creature charged with shocking speed. Leah had never seen anything move so fast. Yet in the lower gravity of the station, she and Alan could move faster than they could on Earth. They split up, forcing the creature to choose its target. It went for Alan, perhaps sensing he was the larger threat. Alan dodged, moving with a quickness that caused gasps from the aliens watching through the window. The creature slammed into a wall, momentarily stunned. Leah used the opportunity to position herself behind it. The creature recovered quickly, but now it was confused, turning between the two humans. Alan began picking up broken equipment, throwing pieces to distract it. "Now," he shouted. Leah leaped forward, using her momentum and the lower gravity to land on the creature's back. It bucked wildly, trying to throw her off. She held onto the bony ridges along its spine, careful to avoid the sharp edges. Alan rushed forward, with a capture pole he had assembled from broken equipment. Working together, they managed to loop a restraint around the creature's neck. It fought wildly, but the humans used its own strength against it, guiding its movements until it exhausted itself. 20 minutes later, the creature was secured in a reinforced containment unit. Leah and Alan exited the lab breathing hard, but uninjured except for minor cuts. The room of aliens stared at them in complete silence. The Validian security chief's mandibles hung open in what seemed to be shock. "How?" the Morcani technician finally asked. "That creature has killed 26 trained handlers. It comes from a world with gravity twice that of this station." "Captain," Porter placed his hands on Leah and Alan's shoulders. Earth has its challenges too. We adapt. Ambassador Kelly stepped forward smoothly. Perhaps this demonstrates why humans would make valuable partners in the Galactic Council, not just junior observers. As they returned to their quarters, Leah noticed the aliens watching them with new eyes. Gone were the patronizing stares. Now they looked at the humans with caution, reassessing everything they thought they knew. "Did you see their faces?" Alan asked, grinning despite his exhaustion. "They're starting to understand," Leah replied. "But they still don't get what humans are truly capable of." "They will," Alan said. "Soon enough they will." That night, as Leah treated her cuts with the medical kit, she received a message on her tablet. It was from the Validian security chief, requesting a meeting to discuss human containment techniques. The message ended with a phrase her translator interpreted as highest respect. It was a start. Word spread quickly through the massive space station. The humans had done something impossible. They had captured a deadly alien predator with their bare hands. Now, everywhere the Earth team went, aliens stopped to stare. Some even took small steps backward when humans approached. "It's like they think we might bite," Alan joked as they walked through the main market area. A group of small purple aliens scurried out of their path. "They're reassessing everything they thought they knew about us," Leah replied. She noticed a tall Validian watching them from across the marketplace. He had been following them discreetly for the past hour. Ambassador Kelly called an early morning meeting with the Earth team. His face showed more excitement than they had seen since arriving. "The Council has invited us to participate in something called the Species Showcase," he announced. "It's apparently a big honor. Each species demonstrates their natural abilities in a series of tests and challenges." "Sounds like they want to study us," Captain Porter said, frowning. "Exactly," Kelly smiled. "They're curious now. And curious aliens are better than dismissive ones." Dr. Nicole Reyes pulled up information on her tablet. "The showcase happens once every 5 years. It's part cultural exchange, part sporting event. Species compete in areas of natural strength, Morcani in swimming challenges, Zentari in zero-gravity puzzles, that sort of thing." "So they want to see what humans can do," Leah said. "But not everything," Kelly cautioned. "We show them enough to earn respect, not enough to reveal all our capabilities." The showcase began the next day in a massive arena at the center of the station. Thousands of aliens from hundreds of species filled the viewing areas. The Earth team wore simple blue uniforms, standing out among the colorful aliens. The first events were basic strength tests. The Validians dominated, their powerful insect-like bodies lifting weights that would crush a human. When it was humanity's turn, Alan and Lieutenant Greg Winters from Security represented Earth. They performed well but deliberately held back, placing humans in the middle range of species capabilities. "Respectable for newcomers," Leah overheard a Morcani observer comment. Next came speed and agility tests. Again, humans performed adequately but not exceptionally. Then came the endurance trials. The course covered a massive area with different environmental zones: heat, cold, water, climbing sections, and variable gravity. Most species excelled in environments similar to their homeworlds but struggled in others. The Validians dominated the strategic elements but faltered in cold zones. The Morcani ruled the water sections but failed at climbing. Humans, to the growing surprise of the observers, kept a steady pace through all environments. "They just keep going," whispered a Zentari scientist loudly enough for Leah to hear. "They're not specialized for any particular environment, yet they function adequately in all of them." By hour 4 of the endurance trial, most competitors had withdrawn. The course was designed to push each species to their limits. But Leah, Alan, and Greg continued, showing fatigue but no signs of stopping. By hour 6, only the humans remained on the course. The observation areas had filled to capacity. Aliens from every part of the station came to watch these strange humans who just wouldn't quit. When Alan stumbled in the high-gravity zone, the crowd gasped, but then he simply got up and continued, bleeding from a cut on his arm but still moving forward. When they finally completed the course after 8 hours, the arena fell silent before, erupting in a cacophony of alien sounds. the equivalent of applause from dozens of different species. Unprecedented, announced the Validian Master of Ceremonies. No species has ever completed the full endurance circuit in a single attempt. As they left the arena, exhausted but proud, Leah noticed the Galactic Council members huddled in deep discussion, occasionally glancing toward the humans with what looked like concern. "I think we might have overdone it," she murmured to Alan. "Too late now," he replied with a tired grin. That evening, the Earth delegation was summoned to an emergency council session. The circular chamber was filled with representatives from major species. The atmosphere felt tense, almost hostile. High Counselor Vazrik addressed them directly. "It appears our initial assessment of Earth and its inhabitants was incomplete. We classified your world as Class 4, moderately habitable. Your performance today suggests otherwise." Ambassador Kelly maintained a neutral expression. "Earth has shaped our species over millions of years. We've adapted to survive." "That is precisely what concerns us," interrupted a Morkani counselor, his eye stalks quivering with agitation. "Our new data suggests Earth would qualify as a Class 2 or even Class 1 Deathworld. The radiation levels alone would be harmful to most council species, not to mention the gravity, atmospheric composition, and predators." The chamber erupted in murmurs. Leah realized this was serious. In the Council's classification system, Class 1 worlds were considered too dangerous for settlement. "You have misrepresented your world's nature," accused a Zentari delegate, its misty form swirling faster in apparent distress. "With respect," Captain Porter replied firmly. "We provided all data you requested. Your scientists drew their own conclusions." High Counselor Vazrik's compound eyes fixed on Ambassador Kelly. "Is it true that humans voluntarily expose themselves to extreme conditions? Your recreational activities include freezing temperatures, climbing mountains, diving to great depths?" "Some humans enjoy such challenges," Kelly acknowledged with a small smile. "For fun," Leah added, watching the ripple of discomfort spread through the alien assembly. A heavy silence fell over the chamber. The implications were sinking in. Humans weren't just survivors of a harsh world. They actively sought out conditions that would kill most sentient species for entertainment. "We request permission to send a scientific team to Earth," declared the High Counselor. "We must re-evaluate your world's classification immediately." Ambassador Kelly looked to Captain Porter, who nodded slightly. "We would welcome Council scientists to Earth," Kelly replied. "We have nothing to hide." As they left the chamber, Alan whispered to Leah, "They're starting to figure it out." "Not yet," she replied, "but they will." The Council's scientific team departed for Earth the next day. During their absence, the humans found themselves treated with new caution. The patronizing attitudes disappeared, replaced by careful observation. Some species now avoided humans entirely. Others approached with cautious curiosity, asking questions about Earth that they had never considered before. "Is it true that your world has areas where water falls from the sky as frozen crystals?" asked a young Morkani scientist. "We call it snow," Leah explained. "Many humans play in it for fun." The Morkani's eye stalks curled, and what she had learned was an expression of disbelief. 1 week later, the scientific team returned. Leah was present when they delivered their report to the Council. The lead scientist, a Zentari named Dr. Zeliv, trembled visibly as it presented its findings. "Earth must be reclassified immediately as a Class 1 death world," it stated. "The conditions there would be fatal to 89% of Council species. The gravity alone would crush most of our bodies. The temperature variations are extreme. The microorganisms are aggressive. The planet experiences regular natural disasters, storms, floods, earthquakes, and humans have adapted to not merely survive these conditions, but thrive in them." The chamber erupted in shocked discussions. Leah caught Ambassador Kelly's eye. He gave her a small nod. Phase 1 of humanity's introduction to the galaxy was complete. They were no longer being underestimated. Everything changed after Earth was classified as a Class 1 death world. The news spread through the galaxy like wildfire. Humans were no longer seen as curious newcomers, but as something unprecedented, beings who had not just survived a deadly planet but had built civilizations and reached for the stars. "Look at them," Alan said to Leah as they walked through the station's main plaza. "Yesterday they were ignoring us. Today they can't stop staring." It was true. Aliens now moved aside when humans passed. Some bowed their heads in what seemed like respect. Others watched with obvious fear. "I'm not sure I like this any better," Leah replied. Fear isn't the same as respect. 6 months after first contact, Ambassador Kelly received the news they had been waiting for. The Galactic Council had voted to offer Earth full membership, not as junior observers, but as equals. "They're rushing the process," Kelly told the Earth team during their briefing. "No species has ever been offered full membership so quickly." "They're afraid of us," Captain Porter suggested. "Maybe," Kelly nodded, "but they're also intrigued. Our reports show requests to visit Earth have increased 1,000%. Everyone wants to see the Deathworld and its inhabitants." 2 days later, the Earth delegation was invited to the Council's Grand Chamber for the formal membership ceremony. The massive room was filled beyond capacity. Representatives from over 300 species crowded the space, all eager to witness humanity's official entrance into galactic society. Ambassador Kelly stood before the assembly, his voice steady and clear. "Humanity accepts the Council's offer of full membership," he began. "We look forward to peaceful cooperation with all galactic civilizations." His words were simple, but everyone in the room understood their meaning. Humans had earned their place through demonstrated ability, not through begging or politics. High Counselor Vazrik performed the ancient acceptance ritual, its movements precise and respectful, very different from the condescending attitude it had shown during their first meeting. "The Council recognizes Earth as the 37th founding world of the new Cooperation Treaty," the High Counselor announced. "Humanity's perspective will be invaluable in facing the challenges that threaten our collective future." The challenges, the High Counselor mentioned, were not merely diplomatic. During private sessions with Earth's representatives, the Council had revealed disturbing truths. Beyond the peaceful cooperation of Council space lurked aggressive empires and existential threats that had pushed the peaceful Council into a defensive position for centuries. After the ceremony, as the Earth team prepared to return to their quarters, a tall Validian military officer approached Leah. She recognized General Kazavik, head of the Council's defense forces. "Commander Garcia." The general clicked softly with its mandibles, a sign of respect she had learned. "May I speak with you privately?" They moved to a quiet corner of the reception hall. The general's compound eyes studied her carefully. "Your species presents something I have never seen before," it said. "Deathworld adaptations combined with your intelligence and social cooperation. This combination is extremely rare." Leah nodded. "We evolved as hunters who worked together. Cooperation improved our chances of survival." "Indeed." The general's eyes shifted colors, showing thoughtfulness. "Your endurance, pain tolerance, and ability to survive injury are concerning from a certain perspective. Most Council species would die from wounds humans routinely recover from." "We're hard to kill," Leah acknowledged. "Our history taught us that lesson many times." The general leaned closer. "The Drokar Empire has been pushing into Council space for decades. They see us as weak, peaceful creatures unwilling to fight. And now you want humans to help change that perception," Leah concluded. "We want allies who understand that peace sometimes requires strength to defend it," the general corrected. "The Council has technology and numbers. What we lack are soldiers who can function in harsh conditions." 1 month later, a Drokar battle fleet approached a disputed star system at the edge of Council space. The Drokar were a warlike species who had conquered 12 worlds in the past century. They expected the usual response from the Council: diplomatic protests and eventual retreat. Instead, they encountered a Council defense fleet that included 5 ships with Earth designation. The Drokar commander, a scarred veteran of many conflicts, appeared on the communication screen. "This system now belongs to the Drokar Empire," it growled in the common galactic language. "Withdraw or be destroyed." Captain Doug Porter sat calmly on the bridge of the Earth flagship Defiance. "This system remains under Council protection," he replied. "We suggest you leave." The Drokar commander laughed, showing rows of sharp teeth. "The Council has no warriors, only diplomats and merchants." "The Council has new allies," Porter said, simply. The Drokar, knowing nothing about humans, ignored the warning. They launched their first attack against the seemingly weaker Council ships, expecting an easy victory. What followed shocked the galaxy. The human crewed vessels absorbed punishment that would have destroyed normal Council ships. When Drokar soldiers boarded the Defiance, they encountered human marines who fought with a ferocity they had never seen. The battle lasted 3 days. When it ended, the Drokar fleet was retreating, and news of their defeat spread quickly across all worlds. 6 years passed. Earth had become essential to Council defense strategy. Human influence grew with each passing year. Ambassador Kelly, now serving on the Council's executive committee, worked to ensure this new respect led to fair policies for all species. "They feared us at first," Leah said, standing with Alan on the observation deck of Earth's new embassy station. Below them, alien visitors lined up to tour the station's Earth Environments exhibit, eager to experience, in safe, controlled settings, the conditions of the famous Deathworld. "Fear and respect are different things," Alan replied. "We need to be careful which one we build." On the deck below, a new group of alien military officers arrived for training at the Joint Defense Academy. The program, designed to share human survival techniques with allied species, had a waiting list years long. "They understand now," Leah said, watching the new arrivals. "Humans don't want to rule the galaxy. We've seen enough war in our history to know better. What we want is a galaxy where effort matters more than where you were born," Alan agreed. "Where any species can earn their place." Across Council space, the word human no longer meant strange newcomers. It had become another word for strength, for endurance against impossible odds. Human diplomats were requested to solve the hardest conflicts, while human security teams were sent to the most dangerous places. Earth itself had become a destination for scholars and military leaders from hundreds of worlds. They came to study how a single species had conquered a death world through determination and grit. The last official change came when, in the Council's Great Library, Earth's classification was updated. It now read, Class 1 Death World, Home of Humanity. Approach with respect. No one feared humans until Earth's Death World secret was revealed. Now, across the stars, that fear had changed into something more valuable. Respect, partnership, and the knowledge that in humanity, the galaxy had found not just another member species, but protectors who had been tested by fire and were ready for whatever challenges the universe might bring. End.